Hey, Richard. I finished. Can you?
I don't get it.
I ran the Spartan race.
Oh. Has your opinion changed at all over the past week?
Yes and no. I feel like the more I think about it, the more like, yeah, it's the exact same story as the first movie, pretty much.
I know, right? Like, I guess I wouldn't say that my opinion has changed much at all. I had fun, but, you know, it was mediocre. It follows the exact same sort of beats as the first one did, where they have their battles once every day, and then at night there's a little bit of exposition with some character development, and then at some point, Themistocles goes to see Artemisia just like Leonidas went to go see Xerxes.
Not only did they redo the plot, but they kind of like tried to redo the cast with different people. So like Themistocles is Leonidas, and like instead of the captain, we had like that old guy with his kid, and then we had
that
what's his name that says we'll fight in the shade. They had like this guy that didn't look anything like a warrior. He looked like a stoner, and the guy had seriously like I think like 3 lines in the movie, and none of them mattered. There were a couple of moments that were like unintentionally hysterical. And I think it just came down to just really shoddy script writing. When the one, it's the one guy from 300, like he wasn't a Spartan, but he helped the Spartans out.
I was going to say the shirtless guy, but that doesn't really narrow it down.
Yeah, the shirtless guy with the very obvious inoculation mark on his arm in the first movie.
That guy invented it. It was just him.
So he comes in to Themistocles, and he's like, Leonidas, he was betrayed by a hunchback.
Yeah.
I remember just thinking like my reaction to Themistocles would have been like, he was what? If he just come in and be like Leonidas was betrayed, Sparta has fallen, and it's just like who did this? He would like a hunchback or something like that would have been a little more. It had some dramatic weight to it, or would have been a little made a little more sense. But like it was almost like a non sequitur.
He's almost speaking to the audience at that point, like, hey, do you remember that one movie?
The other nitpick I was going to say was the opening monologue from Circe.
Lena Headey.
She must say Themistocles' name like 30 goddamn times. And like I feel like...
I don't remember that.
Seriously, every sentence started with Themistocles.
Well, the audience had to know what his name was.
I know, that's the only reason I think it was in there that often. But like I'm bad with names, but after 5 times I was like, okay, I get it. His name is Themistocles.
And Themistocles would seize it. A moment that would make Themistocles a legend.
In the first 300 movie, we had Leonidas, and then there are a couple of other guys who just have these amazing quotes, like that people still, recite to this day.
We'll fight to the shade.
Yeah, stuff like that. I don't feel like there were any of those in this movie. Like I can't think of any that I liked.
We chose to die on our feet rather than live on our knees.
I thought the naval battle aspect was an interesting switch from. I mean, they still had some land combat stuff, but most of it was naval.
Yeah, I think that was a positive switch.
I feel like there's less of sort of like the weird supernatural like monster aspect in this movie.
The scene where that one guy gets beheaded by that giant blob with like
the guy with blades for
arms guy. The one moment of mysticism kind of happens early on, and I feel like it was both good and bad. It's when you see Xerxes' backstory. They reveal who he is, like in non-god form. Then he goes in the water and comes out with like all of his jewelry and shit. And
he's suddenly of Middle Eastern descent. Which
is totally cool, but I feel like had they not said that this was Xerxes and then have like this one guy wander into a pool, you're like, what is this? And it comes out as Xerxes, you're like, oh shit, like it's him. That would have
been a lot more powerful, I think.
Again, the script, whoever's writing these scripts, like just there's no like movie moments going on. Like it just like they just say like things just happen. And it's just like no, like the point of a movie is to kind of like go along with the ride and experience things.
Xerxes claims he's a god, but he really isn't, and that was like the whole point of why Leonidas threw the spear at him at the end. And
it's all kind of undone when like he's just like chilling with
and then it's like
staples in his face. Like, do they have medical staples back in the day?
I don't know.
Maybe he used that med pod machine from Prometheus.
Probably.
For glory's sake.
One thing that did blow me away, that 3-minute uncut shot, even though it's all made on a computer, following him on the horse, jumping boat to boat, and then going after.
I remember thinking, like, when the horse came out, I was like thinking, was that really like the most practical way to get to the other ship? And
no, but it was the coolest.
Whatever.
It doesn't matter.
What was I thinking?
But then that moment, like, Then they had to go and squander that moment because, like, I realized I was talking out loud in the theater. I shouldn't have been. But he punches her, and, like, she stops and, like, turns, like, looks at the camera. And, like, he's standing behind her. I'm like, sorry, but you're in a war right now. Fucking kill her. You will win the battle. But, like, he had to wait for her line delivery or something. It was just... So I started saying in the theater, I was like, come on. Like, and I was like, oh, shit. I should probably shut the fuck up right now.
Surrender to me or meet your death.
He has to spare her because he had coitus with her.
Yeah, that was a weird
That was a
scene.
weird sex scene.
Join me at my side.
I liked Artemisia a lot better than I liked Xerxes. She was a much different villain than Xerxes was. Xerxes was always kind of a somebody you would make fun of. Eva Green did a really good job of being
She's
this ruthless, crazy killer. She was actually probably my favorite character in the movie.
She was the only character that had any sort of depth. I mean, she's dealing with, like, the death of the father, her brother, who she totally does not respect, and it's pissing him off, and then, you know, the whole backstory for being prisoner of war, sex object. All this stuff makes an interesting character because, like, she went through hell and came out like the devil, which is really cool.
They say you are the bravest of our captives. You're not the smartest.
But yeah, no, overall, like, you know, I
don't know.
Can't say I wasn't entertained. Like, it was definitely entertaining.
I was entertained by it. I just don't think I'll rush out and buy it on DVD when it comes out.
I got the most out of it. I might watch that one taker again just because it was cool watching a guy ride a horse across a bunch of ships in an ancient naval battle in one continuous Alfonso Cuarón inspired shot. Fun to watch. I sort of wish I just watched it at home because I did not see it in 3D.
Oh yeah, I didn't either.
So yeah, I guess rent it and maybe, like, clean your house while it's on.
This damned praise if I ever heard.